Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 16, Great Purpose. Immediately, I had the feeling that title, that translation, needed a little bit more to it. So I went and I looked up the term itself, which is taiki. And it means great purpose, but it also can mean righteousness. And it comes from a Chinese word that means principles of justice. I think that's pretty interesting for where we are in the story right now. The last couple episodes have been in the midst of a storm. And in the last episode, Gardar struck like lightning. And I want to just take a sec to say, because I didn't really emphasize it last episode, we got caught up talking about the incredible philosophy going on. That was metal as fuck. Just gotta throw it out there. Now with more of his men dead, Snake is on the warpath, and I don't think he's going to wait for somebody of higher station to come and make the decision as to what's to be done with Gardar. I think he's gonna put him at the end of his sword and, let it shake out how it shakes out, just explain what happened. He's got enough trust in him. At least that's what's going to happen if nobody gets in his way. And it feels like we're about to get in his way. There's a real serious question there, and it's kind of like the question. If you're not going to fight and kill, then how do you stop someone who is, if they're going to take away something you care about? I don't know if this is how it's going to play out, but we got a little bit of a hint at the end of the last episode, and it looks like we are going to take a stand. And that's the scariest fucking thing that I could imagine. At a very scary point in time. Against a very scary man, with a very scary group of mercenaries, who are already a little bit at odds with. So if something you care about is behind you, and a man with a sword who knows how to use it is in front of you, and he wants that, what do you do about it? If you're not willing to pick up a sword too. If you're not willing to kill him. Because, in an action movie, maybe you are Batman, and you don't lethal him, and you just, fight him down, and whatever. But that's not gonna this is reality, man. He has a sword, you don't. It's a problem. But more than that, he has the instinct, the will to kill. He doesn't care. And you're still a slave. Nominally. So. Position, authority, and potential to run for help, those are going away now. The protection that we get as a member of Kedil's workforce might not hold here. If we get in the way of this, it's our lives on the chopping block. And we're going to get in the way of this, aren't we? I spent a long time this morning drawing faces. You can see the one that's up there, and I'll show you in a sec. I spent a long time drawing faces. Some of them are horrid, and some of them are very interesting to me. Just having fun with it. And then I decided to actually, look at the episode a little bit, and ended up coming up with a pretty okay depiction of that last moment from Snake. As he sets off into the night with the rain coming down and his blade at his side. We've set up all these little pieces, and then we shot a fucking billiard ball into the center of them, and they're all... And Gardar's a hell of a billiard ball. An incredible thing to set in motion. And now, after stagnating in this place, though we weren't stagnating, we were growing, we were learning, we were thinking, we were overcoming internally, coming to this conclusion for who we are, just in time in some way, even though it's years ahead of the thing, just in time to have a fully formed idea when the world calls us to act. Because that's what this is. This is a call to action of some kind. And now, with our ideals fully formed, Thorfinn and Einar are going to act. What's that going to look like? What's going to happen? I don't know. And can they navigate it without failing the ideal? Because in the context of the story, I don't think that Thorfinn, dies here, you know? Maybe Gardar does, maybe Arnheid does. Einar can't either, really. But they can fail, still. They can fail to protect them, and they could succeed in protecting them, but fail in their ideal. I say there, I keep saying there, even though it's just Thorfinn's, but Einar is here too, right? And he's not yet covered in blood, right? And I think Thorfinn has a vested interest in keeping him that way. This is the moment, I think. We've asked over and over. You've built up something worth protecting. How do you protect it without staining your hands with violence? Let's find out what the story says. Let's find out if we can line this great purpose up with reality. Because I think this is where that idealism meets harsh, cold steel. Because we've built up Snake as a man who is sword, right? I talked about this last time. It's like, this guy is blade. He is cold as steel. Not a hothead, like some. Not driven internally the way that Ashlad was, but just who he is, as far as we know. And it puts him in a position where he is, exemplary of our society. He is emblematic of the system. And he is the one bringing justice in its particular form now. He's the stand-in. He's the man here. The man with the sword. So in our larger-than-life archetypes of our characters, being action figures that were clashing together, what Snake embodies and means versus this newly hatched in the course of our story idea, he's the first big threat to it. This situation is the first big threat to our great purpose and our ideal. This chance for a place beyond the horizon where people could live in peace. A place not forged and won with blades, because that taints the land innately. It colors everything. But staked out in a peaceful manner, in a different way. First, we must overcome this situation. This situation that is steeped in that bloodiness and bloodshed and hardship that goes back and forth in cycles. This situation that is a microcosm, a hologram, a tiny depiction of the much bigger picture of our whole social norm around violence and slavery and retributive justice. So how we act here, given our thesis that small actions matter, how we act here is fundamental to how we will act throughout the story. What do we do? What's right, and can we do it? Let's walk the straight and narrow path into the strange future with violence looming down below and hope barely a glimmer on the horizon. We face steel and men. What are you going to do, Thorfinn? Let's find out. I've got episode 16 up and ready to go. There'll be 2 versions. PiP in the descript, timer on the YouTube, early access on the Patreon. Thank you for supporting on the Patreon. It means everything. VP timer, let's go. That feels ominous. That looks great. Yeah. Yeah. So these were our ending moments. He closes his eyes, yeah. Okay. They just really wanted us to start with this, like, they're coming vibe. Well, it's working. Uh, I'm thinking this is gonna go badly. I'm thinking this is gonna go badly. Where are we going? They're already together, though. Yeah, how does this play out, man? Okay, I can't do nothing. I've got to do something. Oh, shit. So is she already hiding? She's hiding him here? Oh, fuck. Right? That has to be the situation. Oh, they're watching? Okay. Hmm. Okay, we escape notice. But we're watching over on Nate because she's the target, right? So where's Gardar? She was with him when he escaped. So where is he now? I thought you would have fled with him. Yeah, he bit his fucking throat out, dude. And you would? Fully handled like a 4v1 pretty well. Yeah. Yeah. You know Snake doesn't let that shit slide, bro. We're being watched. Wash, 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 wash. Okay, we're gonna hatch a little plot around the dish pit. Yeah, he's like double dead wounded. He's here. He's here? He helped? I'm sorry, Sparkle did what? Sparkle did what? Yeah, but he's already here. Oh man, so we have to like lead him away. If we want to save him, which is crazy. But even if we just want to save Arne, we have to get him out. She couldn't. A glimmer of her own hope, huh? How can you not? How can you not? This is quite a scene, though. I'm just real worried. That's not gonna go well. There's no question. Thorfinn's decided to act. She already has, man. Well, that's determination in his eyes. Yeah, if that hope has any shot. It'll get more difficult every day. You gotta go now. It's deeply selfless, too. Nanika. Something. Okay. 3 slaves versus the world. Pretty ballsy. Oh, sleepy, sleepy. Mr. Sleeper. Probably the boys. Nope, it's the girl. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. All right, how do we draw them away? Because I'm assuming he's in the house. Who's that? Yep. Hmm. From our perspective, that's clear. Means he's got compassion for them. That makes sense too. Not what I thought he was gonna say. Fuck. I that is what I thought he was gonna say. Clearly. What? Whoa, stop dealing in death. Whoa, he's giving our archetype a road out. Yeah. He's not gonna take it. Saved. Oh. Contempt for it. He doesn't understand, and that's to be expected. That's gotta be Einar, right? It's Einar. We're baiting. We're baiting the baiters. Who's the master baiter? Sorry. Okay, fuck. Hold on. Just gotta mention. I can't carry this sword around with that, like, on my conscience, is what he says. And Sverkel's response is then throw away your sword. Holy fuck. Okay. Perfectly still. Thorfinn is one with the dragonflies. Okay. Be safe, Einar. Okay, so now we're going for Gardar himself. Man, what's your getaway here? You got an escape? Is it just to be your Einar and just be like, all right, we found Einar? Because you better be ready to lie if that's the option. Yes, yes. Run, boy. Whoa! He's gonna cover for us? Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yes, he is. Let's go. Hi. Holy shit. Oh, that's a fun. Man, they're just gonna race through and cut him down. Strong Thorfinn. Holy shit, he's just been laying there? Ugh. Guess all those smells just are coming from the old man. He's lost so much blood. We would so be able to get away without him, but I don't think we're gonna get away. Oh, fuck. He's going back. He's turning back. Shit. He smells the trap. He's got too good a set of instincts. Those scenes with the big battlefield, or like not even battlefield, but big field, are really cool. I wonder if we're going to utilize that a bunch later. This is shockingly heroic. I mean, not shockingly, but like incredibly heroic. Fuck. Literally exactly the situation I was talking about. Sword, no sword. What do? I really like Snake. He's a real problem. Fuck, that's what we saw. Sense him? Oh, inside the house? I guess. This is our setup. This is our big question. Yeah. He knows. Where are we going? Like, I mean, like, metaphorically, we're in like Death Note mental battle space. Subdue? You're gonna try to clock him out, my guy? That's what I meant by where are we going? You just can't help it. You're doing it for good. Taigi. He said it. It's justice, isn't it? But it's not. That's the whole point. Okay, fuck. I'll just punch him once. Everybody says both. Like, fuck. What? You can't just stand there again. He will swing through you. Cold as iron, right? That's just a wall. Oh. He will go for the punch. Whoa. That was fun. So what is this? He moved to strike first. Where's the line? I don't know. Hi, buddy. Been here the whole time. Just training. Half asleep? Not asleep. A battle worth having, huh? 2 daggers. Yeah. Fists now. Chills. So we do stand. Then. We have an answer. But it's a fine line. So I don't know how that's going to go. But this is like the crystallization, finally, of something that we've been building toward for a long time. Since we dropped out of the battlefield and left that life, we've been battling to get to here. Thorfinn's taken this stance 1,000 times, and he's felled 1,000 men with it. He can't afford any more, not one more, and yet he has to fight. So, in a moment that is accentuated by our visual language, by bringing all of the context of the PiP episodes and the haunting of Ashlad, we take Thorfinn and put him into a familiar pose in a very different way. And he's ready once more to fight. But it is not like it was before. Where's the line? Where does great purpose really justify? Because when Ashlad says it, after all, he has one too, he has a reason too. Here you stand now with a great purpose. But so does he. It's mocking. It's like, that's how we get you, man, right? Because that's how we get Ashlad in the very beginning. It's the reason he's in the pit, is because he has a grand purpose, right? The redemption of my people, like the overthrow of these awful blah blah, great, righteous, just by every stretch of the imagination, and yet colors you with blood. So it's like the tempter, right? Ashlad in Thorfinn's ear is Mephistopheles, is the tempter, is the devil on your shoulder, is like, don't worry about it, just fight a little bit and it'll be fine. And yet we do, right? Like the classic thing is like, nah, okay, I have to give up the temptation and find another way, and we don't. Thorfinn strikes. He fucking moves. And he moves first, too, right? Like, this Han Solo, he shoots first. Decision made. Like, he doesn't need to wait for Snake to swing. Snake is walking up to kill him. So we're in it. And we accent the moment, like, in a wonderful way in creating these sword swings and these super close-ups and stuff. And dance back like we did the one time that Thorfinn showed any martial capacity before. Sudden, a quick burst and then dancing back. And this gives us, like, as an audience and the music time to kick in and time to set this scene and build to Thorfinn standing as he never has before. At least as these guys have seen. The rest of the episode has a couple of high points, but it strikes me as rather, like, workmanlike. Not that this is necessarily a bad thing, but, like, there are some scenes that are difficult to do, like lots of big moving backgrounds and big open spaces that we're running through, and some dynamic action of moving these characters and running a lot. There's this highly emotional scene with Arnheid that, I have to be honest, I don't think that the facial animation during this close-up portion super lands for me. And I can't put my finger on exactly why, but the wiggling facial expression doesn't really pull at my heartstrings. The situation does. The scenario does. The dialogue does. The voice acting does. The animation doesn't. A lot of it looks really pretty too. Like, I really like the way that they've rendered her little hair, her hair wigglies. And there are a couple moments where the tear streak moments and the poignance of it is not lost on me, but I compare it in my mind with some of the episodes where we've been so focused on fingernails and so focused on, like, the the intricacies of the face and stuff during particular expressions, like Einar getting pulled away and things like that. And I feel like we could have accented Arnheid's despair here in the same to the same degree. It just feels like a slight missed opportunity to me. That said, I think the idea that she would do something desperate and foolish out of the slim hope living after years of living this way makes so much. It's so human. Like, it's not rational exactly, but it's so perfectly human that I think it serves to make me really empathize with Arnheid's choice and the situation that she's then stuck in. And that produces the opportunity for Einar to make this choice, right? Because Einar's choice is eventually going to put him in grave danger, pretending to be the enemy, who they very well might just like ride up on horseback and swipe his head off with an axe if they want to. So like he's gonna play decoy and try to get the girl out, not to save the girl for himself, right? Not to save this girl that he loves for any purpose of his own future, but to save her for her love for her husband, which is a multifaceted, deep level sacrifice from Einar. So I'm really glad that we accent this moment so poignantly. And I think that works incredibly well. Thorfinn then choosing to join in. Man, what a situation we brew up here. What a situation we brew up here. It's just 3 men, but it's 3 men with weapons and the will to use them. It's 1 fucking large boy who's basically a corpse. It's 1 old man, 1 female slave, and 2 men. And only one of them knows how to fight. And it's still a question of how far he'll go in that on that front. So what's the line, Thorfinn? I don't know. We don't get an answer to that, and that's okay. It's really curious to me. Is it killing? I kind of made a joke at the very beginning about like, oh, just Batman. I'm just like, you know, don't go lethal, but just knock him out, right? Just use super kung fu martial arts stuff. Become a superhero, Thorfinn. It's like, yeah, maybe he's always had the dope instincts and shit. I don't feel like that has the thematic weight that I really want it to. Does that make sense? I don't think that has the thematic answer to it, because it's like, that's not transferable. We can't just take that as like, from Thorfinn as a character and be like, okay, that's transferable to everybody. Everybody in Thorfinn's situation where you have to stand up to power, and the power is willing to use violence, and you probably shouldn't because you don't want to stand your hands red. Just be really good at martial arts and learn jujitsu and take them down non-lethally, and it'll be fine. Like, that's the solution to everything. Doesn't work, right? Not non-starter. So, because we're still answering violence with force, right? We're saying like, okay, the answer is not guns, it's walls, maybe, right? It doesn't track for me. I don't like it. It doesn't get me to where we're going. In the same way, I don't think go somewhere else and hope it will be more peaceful there is a very good solution either. It's sort of stopgappy. It doesn't solve the fundamental underlying problem that humans like killing each other and want each other's stuff, right? Or the fundamental problem that people are bound to roles. That, in silly meme terms, we live in a society. Because we do, and so do these characters, and the society that they live in has particular roles to it. And I'm transitioning to this because I really want to talk a little bit about this scene where we have Sverkel and Snake sit down and chat for a moment. We don't know, I think, at this point in the context. We do. We know that Sverkel has helped. So at this point, we know that Sverkel has helped, and that Gardar is fucking in here under his bed right now. So Sverkel begins to bring up this conversation as we pan away from them being slaves. What a pitiful bunch, right? Huh? What are you talking about? People say that slaves were meant to be slaves by their weakness, which is the flip side and a necessary conclusion from kings are meant to be kings for their strength, right? Like the might makes right, and those who have strength rule, and therefore those who are enslaved must necessarily be weaker. And we will assume that that's the case because that makes our worldview seem to make sense, right? Except when you run into situations where it doesn't make sense, where you meet, like, really weak fucking assholes who are in power, and you meet really, really, like, noble, sturdy people who are enslaved, and you go, huh, maybe it actually has to do with how many soldiers your population had, and in particular, how warlike you were, and how willing to murder, right? Like, that's what's gonna lead you into slavery or not, or it's gonna be how much iron your village has access to, right? And you'll get taken over by somebody who has more iron. You just won't have a chance. So they're meant to be slaves by your weakness is this, like, it's an almost divine right of kings kind of idea, and Sverkel doesn't think it's true. A very interesting thing for him to say as someone who we know won some portion of his lands by the might of the sword. We know that he is a part of this population. We know this, but we also know that he's lived a long life and seen a lot of stuff. He's seen a lot of people come and go. He's seen his sons and grandsons, right? He's warred and taken slaves aplenty and worked in the farms a whole bunch, and he's got his own ideas about life. So it doesn't seem like he really buys into this worldview, and it's so hard to read between all the lines here, but the context of this conversation within which he thanks Snake for reading him the Bible indicates that there's something greatly important that Sverkel has acquired from that information. And it is that information that he's trying to impart, like, subtly to Snake. That's the vibe that I get, is like, really what I'm doing here is I'm talking about the stuff that we were just discussing in the Bible. And it's hit me in a way that's, like, led me past a gateless gate, and it hasn't led you past that gateless gate, and I can't lead you there, but I'll try. So that's what I think is going on here. Is that Sverkel, on his near deathbed, has come to some pretty interesting revelations about the nature of the class system and the society in which he operates. Every man in his proper place is the way. I don't think so. I think it's just luck. That's it. First, luck to be born on one side of the ocean or the other, right? Like, you get born into a farming family, or you get born into a Viking family, or an upper Viking family or a lower Viking family. You pick your poison. If you or I had worse luck, we could have been slaves. And even you, who are more so lucky, could be a slave tomorrow. All it takes is for the wrong longships to appear on the horizon. You know, we've met Ketil and Sverkel and their whole farm of people. Those ships appear on the horizon. Sverkel gets executed. Ketil is right on the edge because he's pretty old and a little bit chubby, but he can probably haul stuff from mines effectively, so we'll use him. And everyone else on this farm is fucking slaves. Done. You owned this land, now you don't. Your luck ran out. I think he's right on, and I said it when it was happening. It's like, from our perspective, this is obvious. But from the perspective of a person living in this society, this is, like, antithetical to the nature of the world. There's not as far as we've expressed, there's not a coherent, like, God said, put this set of people above this set of people, but it's like the world said. That's the way of things, man, right? Like, the people who are strong succeed, and the people who are weak don't, and if you are not succeeding, it's because you're weak. It's a great analogy to modern day, what's the term for it? There's a term for this. I'm finding self-serving bias, which is the tendency to attribute successes to internal factors and failures to external factors, and that's close, but it's not quite what I'm getting at. Okay. There are a bunch of things that are related to this, and I think it's really worth diving into a couple of them, at least a little bit. We're under the auspices of the fundamental attribution error, cognitive attribution bias, in which observers underemphasize situational and environmental factors for the behavior of an actor while overemphasizing dispositional or personality factors. That is, we attribute behaviors of people to their personality, and there's a piece of that, or a piece related to it, that we would call the just world fallacy, the belief that people get what they deserve and deserve what they get. And that was created or formulated as an idea in 1977. And I think that's pretty close to right on. It's like a combination of the two. It's like, it's something inherently about you in a meritocratic sense that makes you a king or a ruler of a farm versus being a slave. And you'll get what you deserve over the course of time because the world is fair. So if your village gets burned down, you deserved it. And if you make a bunch of money by burning down a bunch of villages, you deserved it. And it has nothing to do with your willingness to cause harm, right? Or anything like that. It's the straightforwardness of the way that the world has played things out for you, and it is justice. And that's a really easy thing to believe if you're on the side that's victorious. Because we love to believe that this comes back to the attribution to personal things. We love to believe that our successes come from inside, and we love to believe that our failures come from outside. Our answer from Snake is basically, the fuck are you talking about, old man? What are you on about? He killed my men. I won't be satisfied until he's dead. And then he says the line that I most want to focus on. It's an interesting one, too. And I don't know if the translation's exactly right. I can't walk around wearing this sword while I'm crying myself to sleep over my unavenged men. This gets fiddly because I can't imagine Snake crying himself to sleep over his unavenged men. But I think what he's saying is, I can't walk around carrying this sword while my men remain unavenged. Which is to say, there's something in the world that calls out for justice, and I am bound by it. Right? Like, I'm not allowed. He doesn't take responsibility for it, right? Like, I don't feel comfortable doing this or anything like that. It's like, I can't do it. I'm not allowed, is the vibe that I get. I'm not allowed to stand in this role without fulfilling this role. And the role means that I'm going to go swing the sword. It's like Stark at the beginning of Thrones. It's like, I gotta go and do it. It's my role. It's what I'm meant to do. It's how it has to be. Why? Because that's the world we live in. Why is that the world we live in? Because it's built out of all these rules. It's built out of all these rules. And we all, consciously or unconsciously to some degree, we all fit ourselves into it to make it all feel like it's still working. And to an extent, it's not false either. It's true, right? Like, Snake, if he doesn't pursue this and he lets Gardar go, he will lose the respect of his men, and he will be seen as a coward or worse, right? Like, or a fool or something like that. He's right. The same goes for, like, we realize we see Olmar, and Olmar's not capable with the sword, and he is ostracized for it, right? And it's the same thing. The same sets of expectations bind everyone, depending on their different role. I can't do it. I can't wear this sword while listening to those cries of my men unavenged. And Sverkel says, throw away your sword. An old man who has had a sword and has been a farmer too. Throw away your sword. I'll give you my land. Straighten your life out. Here's your chance. We get this one flash of a moment as he realizes that he thinks he's serious. So out of left field. It's not what Snake dreams of, is it? It doesn't register. It's like offering air to a fish. It's like offering, I don't know. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This moment of eye contact between them, rare. You're running from something. You're not from around here. Fascinating. I wonder if we will find that out. I don't know enough about swords, and I'm not going to look it up. But it's a cool sword. I wonder what the historical accuracy level of him having like a strange saber like this. He's also got like dark hair features, but he's got bright blue eyes. So it's a serious question of where the fuck is Snake from where they make swords like that? My mind goes like continent Spain area is like how he appears to me, and where I think of blades like that maybe being, but I don't know about the time frame. I don't know. Like the I don't know. Fucking interesting though. He's clearly distinct from everybody else. But I doubt throwing away your sword would allow you to escape whatever it was. So, you're stuck with that thing, huh? I guess. I don't know. It's veiled and it's between lines. I don't know. I will give you my fields. We see these beautiful fields. Work the land. Produce life. It's better than swinging around a sword. A good opportunity. My death is coming. I'll do this as thanks to you for reading the Bible to me. I owe you. And in this moment, there's something about this framing of Spherical. So often in other angles of him, he's so small, right? And his face ends up being like crunched and kind of... He's got old man face. He doesn't have man face, right? But we hold this moment, and it's like, for just a second, I can see I can see him in a helm, and I can see his features. I can see the warrior and the hard man that he was. Now he's, his flesh is melting off his bones, basically, but you can see this echo of who he is just in this moment. Just in this moment, it's like the strongest and most warlike and sturdy that we've seen Spherical is when he's telling someone not to be a warrior. What a thing. And I think that aligns so strongly with our theme and our question, which is said explicitly by Ashlad's ghost here in this episode. What leads you to being a real warrior? What path gets you to true warrior? Because that's our thing, is like, that's what Dad said. How do we get there? Snake doesn't want to know. Don't want to talk about it. And then we're interrupted. Einar's playing bait. Man, oh man. There are some cool scenes here. These big running scenes with Einar's cloak flapping, I think are pretty cool. There are a couple moments that stand out to me with, like, cool big moving backgrounds and stuff. And I think the horses look really good, too. Yeah, he's fucked up. It's crazy that Snake clocks this and pops on back. Just wild. And he, huffing and puffing, shows up to face down with Thorfinn. A man driven with single purpose, like the edge of the blade he wields. Back to fighting, are we? What a fucking thing. What a fucking thing. Man, get jump scared by a ghost. This is good stuff. I thought we were doing something weird. I didn't know it was going to be this, though. But, like, the tone is sort of similar to Down Below. It's more red down below in the pit. So I was like, it's kind of like that with this sort of fuzzy glow to everything. But what it reminds me of more than anything is like internal Death Note, L versus Light, like monologue stuff where the colors go red and we got do 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 or whatever the fucking little piano riff is. I really want mind games between them as they're battling. It's so fun. But no, the pit calls, man. Back to fighting, buddy. Holy shit! What an absolute jump scare. I guess you just can't help it this time. After all, you're doing something good. You've got a good reason. Taigi. A good reason. And Thorfinn looks down. But then again, so does he. 5 dead men's not a good enough reason? It's better than yours. So what now? Because you've got an oath to uphold. Which road leads to becoming a true warrior? That's the question of the fucking show. We have a goal, and there are a bunch. It's like one of those mazes where a bunch of strings all tangle together and they lead to different places. Which one leads to the goal? Every other string leads to a different type of hell. Could lead to the hell where you sit on your ass and do nothing and everyone around you is killed because you weren't willing to fight. Or it could lead to the hell where you're the one who destroys and causes more of these corpses to pile onto your back. You don't get to know. You don't get to untangle the threads and play them out all the way. You have to choose now. You can't see the future. You just have to aim really carefully. So, with this really incredible scene of just... it utilizes the stillness of animation. You know, if you don't move things, they don't move. The stillness of animation to have him float forward as though unstoppable, as though inhuman. Thorfinn's eyes open. We go to black. Whoosh. What a cool 0 to 60. One strike, a readied stance. And that's where we leave it. I'm not sure exactly what he's decided. But Thorfinn has made a decision. And those ideals hit cold steel now. Next episode. Thanks so much for watching this week's episode of Vinland Saga. That was fucking awesome. I'm really excited to have like to have this boil over, and I want to address it as like a big fight incoming, and then see what the fuck happens afterward. What a whoa. Could know that we were going down a direction like this, but it's the way we get there that's so fucking interesting. Thanks so much for joining me for this week's episode. I would love to see you next week for more. You can catch that a little bit early on the Patreon. It's linked in the description. And otherwise, I'll see you next week on YouTube for more Vinland Saga. Much love out there. Peace.